Hey, RetconRaider here, with special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Mathew Smith, Revenant, Alois, An Erden Warpaint, Dragon Matrix 7, Eerie B23, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Nathan Welch Jr., RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. As today we look to balance out all the recent chatter with some good old-fashioned adventuring. You know, as usual, there are more people we could talk to around town, more general crusade stuff we could be managing. But we're just coming off 3 episodes of that, so today I think we'll just throw caution to the wind and finally set our sights on the infamous Blackwater. Now, I will stress that I am doing this against my better judgment. I have some experience with this place from back in the beta and right after launch, and it was justifiably notorious. The difficulty curve in Blackwater sort of exploded right into the stratosphere, but it has to have mellowed out since then, right? But I guess we'll find out soon enough. Worst case scenario, we can dip our toes and then flee for the hills as needed. Okay, so Agaboya's Assassins. It's a bit too risky up here. I think we're going to avoid this region for now. We'll just circle back around instead and start clearing out these level 7s down here. We also still have reinforcements on tap. I just need a couple of days to build up resources for them. Hey, okay. Yeah, this'll help shake the rust off. Drakiith trio, plus an Abasu. Nothing to worry about.
I will resist!
Wow, these guys did not roll well on initiative.
Cover me, all right? Out of my sight!
Oh, right, and activate that belt. Wow, okay. Slightly more prolific with the spells than I'm used to. Still nothing to worry about, though, just mildly inconvenient.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
we're done. Regel's back in. Let's get him remounted. And on we go. What was that? About 400 experience points? And it's a bit of a risk, but we're going to hold off on resting until we actually get to Blackwater. We'll camp right outside. That way we'll go in completely fresh. I'm anticipating some pretty tough fights, so we'll want to carefully monitor our corruption. Supplicant from Chili Creek. Markle, a fisherman from the village of Chili Creek, seeks an audience with the commander to make a request. You know, I don't think they had actually finished the Chili Creek quest back during the beta, so I am very curious to see where that goes. And we've still got some distance on those armies. Just got to make sure Shy is ready to intercept as needed. I also send her around like that because I want her reasonably close to Dresden for when I send those reinforcements out. This way they have a nice, clean path. Okay, let's get some rest. Top our guys off. Maybe make some last-minute preparations here. Let's go for mulled wine. I seem to recall this place being pretty heavy on skill checks. We are getting pretty light on skullberries, though.
You're so pretty, but I'll never be like that. It's a little sad, I guess.
For anyone with a heart, you will always be far more beautiful than me, little one.
Aw, that's sweet. You know, I'm surprised those two haven't interacted sooner. Alright, Blackwater, what do you got for me? A ruined settlement that used to belong to one of the clans of ancient Sargeras. The Blackwater clan. There's not a single representative of the clan among the refugees who managed to escape from the demonic invasion. Most probably, the clan was destroyed completely. So I guess that secret superweapon thing didn't really work out for them. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I appear to be playing the wrong game. Well, I mean, we're here. Might as well have a look around this entirely normal dungeon. But, you know, first I'm thinking we might want to do a full battery of buffs, so... One moment. And we're back. Okay, let's have a peek at this expedition of barriers. Well, that's certainly not ominous. Wand of Call Lightning. Okay. You know, I think we will slap that on Waljiff. I do have a sneaking suspicion that electricity may somehow factor into this dungeon. You may not have noticed, but there are some subtle clues related to electricity in our surroundings. Your defeat is certain. You will be overpowered. Lay down your weapons and your lives will be spared. Resistance is futile. You cannot prevail. Capitulate. Surrender. Voluntary modernization is less painful than the alternative. Pass. Okay, yeah, look at that. Lightning will come in handy. What a shocking twist. Anyway, let's try some of that futile resistance they were just talking about. See how that works out for us. Waljev. Nice. Take a bow. Oh. Well, thank goodness for our multi-elemental coverage. Courtesy of Waljev and Darren. I should really get greater extended on Darren. Nice, nice. And they're swarming on Ember. Spellcasters down? I thought the tooltip said these guys all had regen.
I will resist.
Ember and Finian are going to have to do some heavy lifting here. And the Pet Pals. Yeah. Finian ignores physical armor. The Pet Pals ignore their DR. Oh, wow. The electricity hits them, too.
Retreat is not an option. Out of my sight.
Darren, okay. Gotta say, we're doing a little better here than I thought we would.
Prepare yourself.
Mini crit storm, very nice. Yeah, I think these guys basically work on troll rules. They have regen, but electricity temporarily disables it. Oh, that did it. Right, so they can only be finished off with unblockable or electric damage. Thankfully, we have multiple sources of unblockable. Not so sure about UMD, though. Oh, okay, here we go. That's not terrible. We've got half ranks on Ember. Yeah, I just don't really plan around UMD all that much. Let's go ahead and bolster that with our magic fan. We'll need every point we can get. Oh, and let's roll the dice, too. I keep forgetting I have those. Ember? Hey! The mechanism controlling the gate is complicated and unfamiliar. However, you trust your instincts and manage to operate the machinery. Well, thank goodness for that. That means we can now retreat, if this place ends up being too much for us. Okay, we've got some nice high-end sales fodder here. Plus a modest assortment of electric stuff if we end up needing it. I like the neutral cleaning staff. That's a nice touch. Electric cannons seem disabled. The gates before you look sturdy and well built. The metal doors are completely smooth and devoid of any keyholes or other locking mechanisms. Next to one of the doors is a small panel covered in symbols. You quickly discover the joints and mechanical contraptions that serve to set the gates in motion. The doors themselves also reveal something interesting. What at first glance appeared to be a sheet of solid armor, upon closer inspection, looks more like cloth. The armor is made from extremely fine gray fibers that have been very tightly and skillfully fitted together to create a single fabric. Oh, like ballistic mesh. Darren, you maybe want to help us out here? What are we looking at? Judging by the material's unyielding hardness, this is the sky metal known as adamantine. However, the darker matte color suggests that it is more likely an alloy of adamantine and a type of steel called glaucite. A much cheaper substance, but also not quite as tough. You notice interspersions of yet another material among the gray fibers. Flecks of pale green that appear more crystalline than metallic in structure. This is probably Noqual, another sky metal, an extraordinary crystal that can be forged like iron, and that has the capacity to resist magic. The creator of these gates must have wanted them to be a truly indestructible barrier. Wow, they're really going all out with the science fantasy. The symbols on the panel react to your touch, lighting up with a brief metallic sound. Every symbol you touch stays illuminated for a little while, but when you press 3 in a row, they fade with a sharp, unpleasant sound that makes your ears hurt. 6 symbols adorn the panel buttons. A circle, a triangle, a square, a circle with a dot, a rhombus, and a dot. On one of the symbols, the rhombus, you notice a bloody fingerprint. The smudge, though almost faded entirely, instantly gives a sinister cast to the panel. Okay, so what we've got here is the makings of a 3-digit passcode, using symbols instead of numbers, and one of the symbols is a rhombus. But we have no idea what the other 2 symbols might be. They might even be more rhombi. We'll just back off for now, look for more clues. After several moments without any additional input, the symbols on the panel fade. You use a knife to pry off the panel and discover a multitude of metal strings beneath. You sense there is an elegant purpose to this seemingly chaotic tangle, as if some mechanical spiders have spun a delicate web. You touch one of the strings with the tip of your blade, and watch as 8 green lights spark to life in the dark, like the beady, hungry eyes of an arachnid. In the flickering light, you spot a small object deep inside, completely blackened and melted. On closer inspection, you realize that it is a finger bone that has been severed and burnt to a crisp. It probably belonged to the last person who tried to open these gates before you. The crick-crack of tiny metal legs prompts you to pull your hand away from the panel. Yeah, probably not a bad idea. Well, I think we've got a pretty good idea of what we're looking for. Worst case scenario, it is only 3 digits, so in theory we could just brute force it. But we'll save that as a last resort.
Can we retreat already?
Oh, hi. And confirmed. Electricity does temporarily neutralize their regen. Light hit on Zorm. Target selection's a little tricky here. Oof, yeah, that bow might not cut it here. We do have an electric bow for backup. Glad to see Finian still works, though. I was worried these guys might count as non-living. Yeah, let's go ahead and swap out. Might as well give it a shot.
I will see to your demise.
That's the sharpshooter.
Kneel before me.
Hey, okay. Oh, crud. Okay, so we've got an augmented spellcaster, and he just totally destroyed Helpful. And yep, we will stick with that electric bow. That thing sliced right through his DR. It didn't actually kill him, though. No big deal. We've got this. Oh, that didn't do it either. That was unblockable.
Precision!
Alright, so the only thing we're seeing that can consistently kill these guys is the pet pals. I'm not sure why Ember's unblockable spell wouldn't do it. Or the electric bow. Let's get helpful patched. Thank you, Darren. Yeah, that was a rough hit. All right, on we go. Into this hall of hydraulic horrors. A special tool is needed to open such a strong lock. Okay. The reinforced door is tightly locked by an internal mechanism. Present the passkey to unlock the gateway. Intriguing. Each of those doors had a separate message, so that would imply each one has a separate means of opening. Oh, nice. Another Wand of Call Lightning. Let's slap that on Ember. That should hopefully give her a slightly more reliable way to finish these guys off. Oh, speaking of which...
This war must end.
Oh, wait, that tutorial pop-up mentioned an augmented spellcaster. So we've got a spell slinger in the mix, too.
This one's mine!
I'm guessing our caster's on that elevated platform near the spellbook. Yep, there he is.
Cover me, all right?
Oof, that hurt.
Press the attack!
Revenge! Oh yeah, not just a spellcaster, but another grunt and an augmented squad leader. Plus one more on our right flank. Excuse me. All right, Ember, hold tight. We're on our way. Come on, Waljiff. I'm gonna need more than that. Yes, that's more like it. Thank you, Vex. Still not dead, but it's a start. Let's patch our wounded waif. Helpful's still pretty hurt, too. Come on, guys. There we go. Thank you, Ember. That buys us some breathing room. Yeah, that's weird. The electric bow does bypass their DR, but it doesn't negate their healing. So Aru can drop them, but she can't kill them. Helpful. Very nice. And the spellcaster's a dud. Okay.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Squad leader. Oh, let me do a quick shuffle here. We'll be using heal a whole lot more than neutralize poison. Now, where were we? Ah, death by crit storm. Okay. So how'd that work out for you? I guess all that chrome does occasionally get in the way of casting. Ow! Holy crap. That grunt walloped us.
Retreat is not an option.
The wands do work. That's good to know.
Distract them from me.
Kneel before me.
Missed me already.
Right, so wands, pet pals, and Finian. Everything else seems pretty hit or miss. Wow, so nothing notable from the so-called squad leader. Oh, here we go. The metal flask is full of foul-smelling gas. Fuel for a flaming lockpick. Which I guess would make this a flaming lockpick. It is unlikely that this device was designed to open locked doors, but it is perfectly suited to that purpose. Drawing in gas from the connected metal flask with a low whine, the flaming lockpick releases a stream of white-hot flame, heating and quickly vaporizing the metal lock. That's hot. Sounds like just the sort of special tool we might need for that door we passed earlier. It's surprising, but these vast machines perform tasks with the same delicacy as a silversmith, refurbishing and repairing damaged components for the machine people. It appears that the humming machine filling the air around it with electricity is powering the surrounding mechanisms. And I can't help but notice that this thing seems to be drawing power from a giant purple crystal. What a strange coincidence. Access to maintenance cells granted. The note reads, percentage of successful implantations increased to 47. For the purposes of improving the results further, complete removal of the temporal lobes will be implemented in future procedures. Right. So full frontal lobotomies before they plug these guys into whatever centralized network they seem to be running off of. That is very unfortunate, but I guess it does remove the guilt factor. These are essentially just literal meat puppets. No need to feel bad about putting them down. I think this one needed the special tool. Yeah, that'll do it. Very nice. I'll take that. A Tongi? Really? I mean, I guess that's great for all the Tongi wielders out there. Scream of Pain. A +4 thundering burst. Tongi. Slight echo there, but that is what thunder does. On hit, the enemy must pass a fortitude savings throw, or become shaken for 1d3 rounds. Not terrible. I mean, the sonic damage especially, since that will bypass resistance on most enemies. So yeah, I guess if you were in fact running a Tongi build for some reason, then this would be a halfway decent choice. And this one had the internal lock, which means it must be maintenance. Okay. Right, because it's where they store their maintenance workers. Gotcha. Yeah, I guess they gotta go somewhere. I appreciate that. Time-worn note. The work on fortifying the outer perimeter is almost complete. We are now well protected against surprise raids, and no wandering demons will ever disturb us again. Unfortunately, Master Hundredface tasked me with routine checks to keep the mechanism in working condition, and I hate leaving the device maintenance area. These damned gates are driving me insane. I can never remember the right access code. Why couldn't they just stick to numbers? They just had to use this geometric Numerian nonsense. I keep forgetting the sequence does not end with a cycle. It ends with a base. The symbols are basically the same. The cycle is a circle, and base is a circle with a dot. but I keep mixing them up, and I just end up standing in front of the gate like an idiot. So I'll just write it on this and keep reading it over and over every day until I get it. The third symbol in the code is a base, a circle with a dot, not a cycle. Interesting. So while this guy looked like one of the normal mechanized servants, he clearly still had emotions. I mean, he expressed all sorts of frustration and embarrassment and whatnot here. So he must have been part of the pre-lobotomy conversion crowd, I guess. The original adopters, maybe the original Sarkorians who established this place? He does mention preferring to stay in the maintenance storage area, so he was clearly still part of whatever network they have going on here. But he had some semblance of self-awareness, I guess, enough that he encountered a problem and thought of his own solution for it. Then again, perhaps his inability to remember the code properly is exactly the sort of failing that prompted Master Hundredface to start lobotomizing his convertees. Perhaps it's why this guy was dead, too. Though we have no real clues there. Conveyor belt? So I guess this is like a construction wing? Oh, hey guys. We've got some corpses off to the left. Yeah, I think this is where they put these guys together. Spellcaster. Oh, and an invisible guy in back. Augmented Assassin. Plus a grunt off to the right. Well, I am certainly glad we put up Communal See Invisible. Otherwise, this might have been a whole lot more dangerous. Let's knock out that assassin first.
Desna, guide my hand.
This one's mine.
Shoot, still too far?
Time to share your treasures.
Nice. We've got a sharpshooter.
I'll make short work of this.
Make your peace.
Spellcaster temporarily down. Defender's out. Thank you, Finian. And that's the assassin.
Press the attack.
Yeah, I think we're just about getting a handle on this place. Excuse me.
Cover me, all right?
Those are some very fancy bracers.
Out of my sight!
Oh, and that's the caster. Is there another guy in that worker? Oh, well that wasn't what I was going for.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
These bracers are interesting. At a glance, it looks like magic missiles, but they have a mischance, so it's clearly something else. Sadly, we can't actually seem to loot the sharpshooters, so I guess whatever those bracers are, they're like internalized bionic weaponry or something. I'd act surprised, but there was a quest in Kingmaker that had like androids and nanotech and stuff, so. The dead person's wounds were carefully bandaged, but their injuries were too extensive and led to their death. The dead crusader on the bed was seriously wounded, bleeding where they lay, as evidenced by the darkened, pungent-smelling sheet. Oh, crud, this guy's still alive. 1 second, we'll be right with you. It looks like this corpse has been lying here on this bed, slowly becoming mummified for several months at least. The remains of the unknown warrior exude a holy aura. His death at the hands of the demons was a martyr's death. Interesting, interesting. One of the enemies you defeated is still alive. Despite the gravity of his wounds, he keeps trying to stand up, though to no avail. You now have a chance to inspect him more closely. His body is covered in clan tattoos, and it looks as if the top of his head was struck clean off by a mighty blow. A strange, barbed object, resembling a crown or circlet, adorns the warrior's forehead. Long, thin spikes project from the circlet into the gaping wound, piercing straight into its exposed brain. Clan tattoos, so this might be one of the original Sarkorians. But the corpses imply at some point they started also supplementing their numbers with fallen crusaders. Close examination reveals a truly gruesome sight. It's clear the warrior's head has been mutilated deliberately, and with surgical precision. The top of his skull has been sawed off, and numerous thin metal spikes have been sunk deep into his exposed brain. Every now and then, one of the circlet spikes begins to glow slightly, and a flash of lightning runs along its length, causing the body to make another convulsive attempt at standing up. Judging by the appearance of the other guards in this place, they all have been subjected to the same monstrous procedure. Right, so the barbs probably run like right into the motor cortex, I guess. And then electric impulses are used to control the still living meat puppets. Hey, can you actually hear me? The wounded Sarkorian ignores your words, single-mindedly focused on his attempts to stand up. He seems not to notice you at all. You know what these guys remind me of is lobotomites from Fallout New Vegas. originally planned for the first game but cut, and eventually reintroduced by Obsidian. But yeah, the main difference being that these guys are clearly networked, hence the name of their controller, Master Hundredface. As you touch the sinister-looking circlet on the wounded warrior's head, one of the metal spikes embedded in his brain breaks off with a twang. It seems it was damaged in battle, and your movement destroyed it completely. The Sarkorian instantly freezes. His lips grow pale, whispering, "Master, I can't hear you anymore. Command me, Master." Hey, look at that. I guess he's still got his frontal lobes. Good for him. Hi, hey, you okay in there? The wounded warrior turns his face towards you, but his eyes seem to be looking through you. "Master, I hear you once more. Command me." "I am the first line of defense. I am the keeper of the mission. I am a function materialized, a command executed." Cool. Do you have like a shorter name, maybe? "A name is a lie. A name is unnecessary. A function is all that is needed. A command is needed." Okay, well, who told you to attack me? "You did, Master. You issued the command. You assigned the function. I have not executed it, but I will." Right. Look, your master requires the code for the locked security gate in the front room. "The knowledge of how to proceed deeper into the camp is a matter of security. My function is specifically not to know the code, so that I am unable to divulge it. I have forgotten this knowledge, as you instructed, Master." After inspecting the circlet, you feel like you understand the basics of how it works. Even though this is your first time seeing this machine, the principles of magic are universal, and you can intuitively predict the consequences of your tinkering. With a knife in hand, you carefully pull out another wicked spike, causing the wounded warrior to flinch and raise his empty gaze towards you. The wounded soldier, with uncertainty in his voice, declares, "The prohibition is lifted. The function of defense is no longer essential." "I am ready to reply, Master. The access code is Pyramid The gruesome circlet on the soldier's head begins to heat up rapidly. The melted metal seeps deep into the mutilated soldier's burned flesh. But he faces his death with complete indifference. Delightful. But he did give us what we needed. We now have the full code for the gate. Pyramid, rhombus, base. Or was it cycle? My recollection's slightly dotty. The sinister-looking instruments on the table appear to be used to open the skulls of unfortunate victims and attach the horrifying barbed circlets to their brains. Yep, this is where they assemble their victims, the lobotomites. The corpses of the Crusaders do seem to imply that they need living bodies for conversion. So once they die, they're basically just garbage, I guess. It also sounds like they're scouring battlefields for wounded Crusaders, and then bringing them back here for conversion to help supplement their numbers. All the symbols light up with a green glow, and you hear a mechanical clanking noise. Lovely. Let's roll back over to the assembly room. There was one more door there we didn't check. We are past time, though, so if it's anything serious, we might have to hold off on it. and we've got cyborg salamanders, so yes, I think this is a good place to call it. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll do a quick spot check, make sure we're ready for more, and we'll pick up here next time. Things are definitely starting to heat up. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official websites. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon, or the new YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
It's a little sad, I guess.